What are some ways that you address your mental health, and do you actively self-reflect and express your mental health?
I think the biggest way that I address my mental health is by
The main way I address my mental health is by prayer.
I feel like I address my mental health through,
For me, sometimes I think the way that I've
Usually I think,
So some ways that I address my mental health is
so some ways that I address my mental health.
some ways that I address my mental health are
I try not to internalize my feelings. That's kind of how I express myself and make sure that I'm feeling my emotions to the fullest, wearing my heart on my sleeve, and like communicating with any issues that I have with other people or just in general, like whatever relationships I have, I make sure that they're open in communication because that's what I value the most and that's what keeps me content and those around me content, I feel.
recognizing the emotions when I'm having them, whether they're negative as I would deem them or not, learning ways to process them in ways that work for me. Do I actively self-reflect? Sometimes. Sometimes I don't. I like to think I do, but sometimes I have other priorities and I do tend to push it aside, so that's something I'm working on.
I go for walks every day, draw, I read, and so it's important to do these things because you need to give yourself moments every day, 1 or 2 hours, whatever you'd like to do, whether it's, to talk with a friend, plan out the rest of your day. You need those times to yourself because it's the moments that you can truly be you. And if you don't give that day to yourself, then you'll slowly lose yourself as you go through the stressors of everyday life.
It's by being self-aware. So what I like to do is maybe confide in a close friend or just take some time off for myself. So whether that be going for a walk, going for a run, or just being somewhere outdoors.
spending time with people who I am most comfortable with, making sure that I am myself, my own most comfortable state. So sometimes that means trying to reflect on my own thoughts. Maybe it means working on a certain project I haven't been working on for a while, playing sports with friends, or just hanging out with friends and having that social interaction. That's something that really helps me stay in touch with my true self when I feel like my mental health isn't as great as I want it to be.
Fueling my body with really good, healthy food and getting outside for some exercise, like either run, bike, or swim, is kind of how I prioritize taking care of my mental health from the beginning. It's easy for me to get caught up in the moment if things are stressful. So what I've been trying to do is just trying to be more mindful and present in the moment.
Journaling is something that I really like to do every day, so I like to write my thoughts and feelings down. Helps me kind of process them and organize them. I go to therapy and it's really great. I go once a month and I think it really helps, and you don't have to feel bad, I guess, to go to therapy. It helps with everyone.
on car rides. So when I'm in the car and I'm driving to, let's say, a different job site or something else, I have time in between where I can listen to music and I can kind of just sit there and just get into the vibe and kind of see what I've done in the day or what I've done this week, and if it kind of balances out with the goals that I have for future growth.
I address my mental health through everyday tasks, kind of like making lists of what I have to do and trying to exercise when I'm able to, but I don't think I do it actively enough.
Walks. I really like being out in nature. If I'm not feeling well, or when you're just having one of those days, I feel like if you go even on a half-hour walk, it helps you kind of relax and take in your surroundings, and that puts me in a better place.
I don't often self-reflect on my mental health as much as I would like to because it's not something I'm accustomed to.
Taking care of myself and exercising. I really enjoy physical activity, so that's one way to just kind of, take time to reflect on my mental health while I do the physical exercise, and that also helps kind of lightening up certain issues. I don't really actively think about mental health in that sense, but when it comes up in conversation with friends, I usually try to take that time to really think about it, and even if it's a casual conversation or a serious conversation, I would take that time to think through, because usually I wouldn't really take that time on my own thought to really go through that thought process.
Based on my experiences, day-to-day interactions, and just looking at my energy from time to time, seeing how I influence others and how I feel at the end of the day.
I go to the gym. For me, it's a form of meditation. I go there, it eases my mind. Self-reflecting, I do wish I did a bit more of it, but in recent years or recent months, I have been doing more and more of it, and I have found that it has been helpful in terms of understanding why I feel the way I do.
I do time blocking, so what that is I make sure to set aside some time in my day to focus on doing things for my self-care. So that could be going to the gym or outside for a walk or doing face masks.